Emma from Worcester, so I'm very glad to be here and make it to the stage unscathed. Thank you for not killing me, that's great. No, it's lovely to be here. I've got some poems here from my first pamphlet called Pick Your Own, and they're very much sort of semi-nostalgic, looking back on my childhood types of poems. So I'll read a few from this. The first poem I'm going to read is called High Seas. I am sailing on high seas, child height through damp washing. Glimpsed through white sheets, there's a bell in the sky that looks like a cloud hung to ring. Spectral tents of billowing cool welcome me in a rush of cracking sails. Hooped over circles of taut lines, my vessel bucks and wheels to every breeze, crow's nest creaking. I sway over oceans until the heat of the day, steaming through ghostly cotton, starches my game completely. Thank you. And the second poem is called Pick Your Own, and it's the title of the book. And as you can see, there are some luscious red strawberries there. When I was little, I lived in a place called Harwell in Oxfordshire, and we had lots of Pick Your Own. Getting some nods from the audience.
I've been
Harwell.
Been there, yeah.
Have you? Great. And lots of pick your own places. And of course, when you're a kid, you go there to pick the fruit and you just eat it, don't you? You don't take it to be weighed and paid for. You stuff as much as you can in. So this one's about that. Probably in this one, I'm about 8. So my sister's about 4. Pick your own. Today, I am a bride up and down the aisles of fruit, nodding side to side under the veil of my tatty fringe. Best dress on, despite fruit is impossible to get out. I find the nest of strawberries in scratching sun-warmed straw and silently kneel, a devotee, head below the hedge, to hide from my sister. Small, hard, white, hairy, tight-seeded fruits sit in thick leaves, waiting. I pass those and rummage, squashing into ashy puffs of mould which sigh out. Another dive under green leaves where large scarlet hearts, seed-cushioned, coyly peep, gleaming ripe. Bubbles of juice pop between my teeth. Sunshine on my tongue, seeds on my teeth. I feel the heat on my parting, sun pouring on my head, filling up the cup of my brain and spilling out through my dazed eyes, my reddened lips. A tiny hand through the hedge from the other side, a giggle. Then a fight, a race, to crown bulging and bursting fruit into our mouths. I win. The weigh-in, the accounting, mum's studied indifference to our lips, chins, fingers, stained and sticky. On the homeward journey, dog whining in the car's heat, we are pale and quiet on the slippy back seat, finally sick of sun and fruit. And there are lots of firsts in this book, and this is the first time that I learnt to swim, which is always something that you tend to remember, isn't it, that first time? And it's always epic. I remember it very, very clearly. First time. A friend's pool, unchlorined, green at the edges and in the depths more pond than pool, leaves collecting and newts flicking in the shallow end. My mother walks backwards, keeping bleached hair up, words spilling from red lips, cigarettes sticking as she mouths clever asides. Laughter rises and falls around the edges. I puff and blow and frown, face red, hair wet and slick. I want to cry, but more, I want to swim. What is it that happens now? I no longer feel the slipping hands, or the elastic tight at the top of my thighs, or slithery fronds of weeds. Coming up like knowledge, the water holds me. My mother, indifferent, or sensing the change in me, begins to let go. I no longer need her. I frog kick, flutter hands and feet, laughter again amidst cries of bravo, and with my mother forgotten at the edge, I do a width on my own. I like the R there, thank you very much. This is how I describe myself as there's been some talk tonight about gender and sex and binary and non-binary and everything. When I was a little girl, I didn't think of myself as a girl. I thought of myself as just a creature. And this is called creature. I wasn't a girl when I was a child, I was a creature. I would stuff dolls into prams and push them around the garden, shaking them to sleep. I would skip to the shops, converse with fairies in the trees, control the wind. I would make tents from blankets, feed worms to teddies, and look at the sun half-eyed. I would skip like a boxer, knit like a fisherman, wait for Father Christmas until my ears rang with listening and knew it was sleigh bells. I would walk in the night, forget about it in the day, inhabit a half-world of sleeping. I danced like a Spanish lady with a real mantilla, comb and castanets, all my size. My cat followed me everywhere, but the dog howled at my recorder practice and bit my sister's best friend. True that. I was the world's worst brownie, who could never remember her daily good deed, although I knew I was good every day. I waited every night and prayed for my father to come home and save me. Every night he did, and every morning I woke up and he was dead again. I talked and talked at school, but being clever, talked my way out of it. My hair was scraped into plaits, pulled into ponytails, or flapped lank in the fast wind. I outstripped my sister on the concrete-covered playground where tunnels scraped my knees, banged my forehead, hit slime and mud, and worse. Just read a couple more from here, one to my mother and one for my father, who you may have guessed from that poem. He died when I was very little. This one's from my mother. It's called Final Fitting. One mirror in the triptych throws a picture of you, impatient to edge me aside, but I won't move. I'm dressing up in your clothes, still too big, but I select velvet and silk, slips of satin, crush of lace, hang my new self with ropes of sticky seed pearls. Your mix of sham and fabulous, spindly ankles above knife-point heels, tailored skirt in lurid lime, a frivolous wig tangles my clean hair into its cobweb nest. Then I'm finger painting, cupid lips red and glossy, cheeks hollowed in sophistication, lost in clouds of ancient powder. Every face looks like yours. I set down the brushes and sponges. Dew spotted, filmed with dust, the mirror is empty now. In this attic, junk stores the cold shadows that creep from all the rooms below. Your butterfly dresses, washed and ironed, are packed into the family trunk. Lost mornings, forgotten afternoons, lie creased in their folds. Thank you. And this one's for my father. He was in the RAF, so there's some RAF slight references in here, just so that you know. My dead dad. My dead dad walks down the high street. No one wears hats anymore, he notices, and ladies wear work jeans and plimsolls. Grown men wear PE kits, and everyone holds a telephone with no cord, and no one meets his eye, although he says good morning for the first 10 minutes. He sits on a bench and watches a beggar drink from a paper cup. He looks up, and his heart lightens slightly. Pigeons nestle and crowd on ledges. Seagulls swoop, and clouds move away from the sun. My dead dad takes off his cap and palms his slick hair neatly behind his ears. He smiles at his face in the shine of his bright toe caps. The knife crease of his grey-blue trousers reaches the requisite lace. He stands and tidily replaces his cap. Shoulders straight, no hands in pockets, medals glinting, amid the jostlers and shovers, fat mothers, tired shop girls on their phones, never looking up, although they all move out of his way. Thank you. Last poem, and to quote an esteemed poet before me, a very big dear change. This is called The Exacting Son, and it's that time of year, it's Lent, it's that time, possibly when you've been brought up in the church, through its rhythms and everything, you think about temptation, being tested, privation, that sort of thing, and this is my poem about that. And put this on the floor. The exacting sum. I do not foresee that the bowl of my mind will be scoured clean, emptied anew each day. This is an error, an entry point for the one whose hostile territory this is, who winds sideways, susurrating in the sand, puzzling into the ancient landscape. I drip and melt over the burning rock, and all my words shrivel in the exacting sun. At night, my brain fills with words again, comes alive. Night creatures emerge. Rats scurries, and a fox trots past, uninterested. An owl swoops near, turning the plate of its face towards me. Day again, and there are more colours than thought once I blink the dust away. Dust which maps the contours of my skin, softening and drying. Under a relentless blue sky, yellows move over deep red cliffs, cut sharp by the indigo shadows of noon. Tiny grey stones rattle and shift over the rock temples, which are huge enough to contain cities. They curve at their base, way below in the valley, eroded by forgotten seas. Vultures wheel, warning, predicting, anticipating. My eyes adjust from heaven height to the ground, where black scorpions scuttle, then stop, and slowly raise their stings. Their battles are epic and unforgiving. Into my desert of words enter 3 green, wicked oases, soft as bread, sharp as thought, deafening as applause, sexy as hell. He bids me drink. He doesn't even know that he lives only in the seductive now, pained and hurt at my emphatic denials. What's wrong, he whines. I'm offering you amazing things, superlative experiences, instant amplitude, monstrous power. You are mad to refuse. But I can see down the road, to broken thrones, bodies in gutters, and all his promises broken.